こんにちは皆さん、お元気ですか? Hello, how are you? Today, karate video number 50. Number 50. So, today we are going to learn about Seiza. Seiza. Well, we Japanese people sit down in Seiza in many occasions. But in karate and kendo and these kind of martial arts, also you sit down in the Seiza way, right? So I'm gonna explain you in detail about Seiza. At first, this kanji, sei, this is from tadashi. Tadashi, this is adjective, adjective, tadashi. It means correct, the right way. Tadashi. Za, it comes from suwarimasu. Suwarimasu, it means to sit down, the verb sit down. So the Seiza is the right way how to sit down. This is Seiza. In Japan, of course, we've got Western style chairs. But very ceremonial occasions, we often sit down like this in Seiza style. This is the scenery of Japanese traditional wedding. And there are some varieties or variations of sitting down, how to sit down on Seiza. You see the man and woman, they are sitting slightly different. Man's knees are more open than the woman's, and also the hands positions are different. Seiza involves sitting down on the floor, not on a chair. In traditional Japanese architecture, floors in various rooms designed for comfort have tatami floors. Seiza is closely connected with tatami flooring. There are circumstances, however, when people sit Seiza style on carpeted and hardwood floors. Depending on the formality of the occasion, the setting, and the relative status of the person, it is sometimes acceptable to sit on a special cushion called a zabuton. Doing Seiza is an integral and required part of several traditional Japanese arts, such as tea ceremony, like in this picture. In other Japanese traditional art, ikebana or kado, this is Japanese style flower arrangement, Seiza is also required. And now about the history. Well, people's social circumstances, clothing styles, and the places where they sat naturally brought about their manners of sitting, the development in the Muromachi period, and that is about the 14th century. Japanese architecture, in which the floors were completely covered with tatami, thick straw mats, combined with the strict formalities of the ruling warrior class, for which this style of architecture was principally designed, heralded the adoption of the sitting posture known today as Seiza as the respectful way to sit. So that was in the 14th century. By the middle of the Edo period, and that was about 17th and 18th century, Edo period, it had become a convention for samurai to sit in this manner when meeting authority figures such as the shogun as a symbol of obedience and loyalty. However, it probably was not until around the years surrounding the turn of the 18th century that the Japanese generally adopted this manner of sitting in their everyday lives, and during the Meiji era, and that was 19th century. it had become firmly established as the people sitting posture, as part of the Japanese culture and tradition. So it was 19th century when the Seiza began, just like now. In martial arts, this sitting position is very important. But as I told you before, there are many variations how to sit down. So the best way is to watch your teacher, because it may vary depend on the martial arts and its style. But anyway, to sit Seiza style, you must first be kneeling on the floor, folding your left leg underneath and your thighs. So the left leg is the first one, left. While resting the buttocks on the heels, the ankles are turned outward as the tops of the feet are lowered, so that in a slight V shape. The tops of the feet are flat on the floor and big toes overlapped. The right always on top of the left, because do you remember? You must kneel the left leg. And the buttocks are finally lowered all the way down. Depending on the circumstances, the hands are folded modestly in the lap, or are placed palm down on the upper thigh with the fingers close together, or are placed on the floor next to the hips, with the knuckles rounded and touching the floor. The back is kept straight, though not unnaturally stiff. Traditionally, women sit with the knees together, while men separate them slightly. Some martial arts, for example, kendo, aikido, iaido, karate-do, may prescribe up to 2 fist widths of distance between the knees for men, and maybe also for women. Migi ashi and hidari ashi. Well, migi, it means the right. Hidari, left. Ashi, leg or feet, legs. So migi ashi, the right leg. Hidari ashi, left leg. And if we would say migite, right hand, hidarite, left hand. And when we do the Seiza, the first we sit down from the left leg, hidari ashi. But when we get up from the right leg, migi ashi. Kiritsu, kiritsu. Well, you know kiritsu, it means you must get up, you must stand up. In the kanji, this ki, this comes from okimasu. Okimasu is get up from the floor, or if you are sleeping, get up, okimasu. And ritsu, we learned RitsuRei. This ritsu and this ritsu, the same one. This is to stand up. So, ki, get up and stand up. So it means you must stand up. Kiritsu. In this picture, you can appreciate the feet position. The left foot is under the right foot. It's because you sat down from the left leg to do the Seiza. But when you get up, you must stand up from the right leg. And do you know why? Because samurai had his katana his sword in his left part. So, if enemy comes, you use with your right hand to attack quickly. And if you have your left leg before, maybe you might hurt your left leg yourself. So that's why your left leg must be under and the right leg must be forward all the time. That's why you must kneel down from the left and you stand up from the right leg. But here you can see a lady closing fusuma, the Japanese sliding door. And in this case, her feet, so look at her feet. She's not putting any leg, for example, left leg under that same position. So it's not necessary to be the left foot under the right foot if it's not martial arts. Rei, rei, with this kanji. And this kanji, rei, it comes from reigi. It's like reigi, this is etiquette. Reigi. And rei is the way how we salute. Japanese people salute with rei. And the synonym word is ojigi. Ojigi and rei is the same meaning. Rei. Well, we Japanese people do lots of rei in many occasions to say hello. We do with rei. And also martial arts, you use rei a lot of times, right? And there are many, two types of rei. ZaRei, ZaRei, za. Well, do you remember this word? Seiza? Seiza. And this kanji, the same. ZaRei. Well, this za, it comes from suwarimasu, to sit down. Rei. So, rei that we do sitting down. In the sit position, we do this rei, this ZaRei, ZaRei. And also we've got RitsuRei, RitsuRei. Well, ritsu, this is from the kanji tachimasu. Tachimasu, now I'm sitting down, and tachimasu, I get up. So standing position, tachimasu. RitsuRei, this is the rei that we do in the standing position. RitsuRei. Now I'm going to explain you ZaRei watching these pictures. Well, the first, this is again the wedding ceremony. At first, you must look at the persons who you are going to greet. And your hands are sliding toward front and slightly the left hand before the right hand. And now you begin to bow. Then the both hands together like in this picture, and you incline. And that inclination is quite important. If you want to show lots of respect, till 5 centimeters from the floor. This is the most respectful way. But usually it's about 30 centimeters from the floor. And the slightest way is about only 30 grade of inclination. And when you incline, you don't look at your client's eyes or your customer's eyes. You must look down toward the floor, or even you close your eyes. Here we can see 3 persons doing ZaRei all together in harmonious way. Here you can see the beautiful example of RitsuRei. And this one is very similar to the martial arts because her hands are not together, just along her body. And the inclination is quite important. If your greeting is toward your sensei or someone very important, then usually about 30 grade to 45 grade of inclination is correct. But if it's in front of your opponent in the match or in front of your kumite's partner, then about only 15 grade, it's okay. In this case, RitsuRei is in coffee shop and they are greeting their customers with lots of respect. So their hands are together. And I forgot to say before, when you greet someone, the first you look at someone's eyes. And then when you incline your body, then you mustn't keep watching the other person's eyes, but you must lower down your look toward the floor about 1 meter or 1.5 meters before you. Even that is in martial arts matches. And then you get up, you stand up again, then you look at his eyes. In Japan, we do bow. We bow for greetings everywhere. So this is two men greeting each other in the business world. I hope you liked this video and it was interesting for you. And if you didn't subscribe to my channel yet, please subscribe my channel. Then you can get every video. And if you have any questions or suggestions or any commentaries, you can write me down in the commentary, in these commentaries. And also your likes, these kind of things, give me lots of motivation. And if you share my videos with your friends, that will help me a lot. So please, please, please. 今日もここまで見てくださって本当にどうもありがとうございます。では、チャンネル登録といいねボタン、そして私のビデオをお友達とシェアしていただけたらとても助かります。では、また会いましょう。じゃあね。バイバイ。